MarineKing versus YoDa. Starting to the top right of the map, we have the LGIM player. He's leading in the series, but it was a lot closer than he thought it would be.
LGIM YoDa.
His mind cannot rest after a game like that as easily as his opponent. He's going to be feeling stressed out after almost throwing that game away against his opponent to the bottom left in the teal. He is
MarineKing Pro.
And if you're MarineKing, being in a situation where you had 7 harvesters left and then coming back in a game like that, you got to feel pumped. After even losing that game, you're like, you know what? What if I didn't have that early game? Of course I could have crushed him then. If I was half of his supply, he nearly tripled my supply at times. My overall supply was less than his harvester supply, and I still came back. What if we were on even terms to start with?
Yeah, I thought about that too, but I feel this is the complete wrong approach to look at this. I don't think YoDa would have ever played the way he did in a normal game. I mean, we've both seen so many games of this guy, and we know how good he is. So this would, I feel, not have happened if there would have been an even footing in the game. Because if that's actually the case, if MarineKing in any game against YoDa can take such a lead of YoDa and turn it around, then YoDa wouldn't be here.
Of course. But I still feel mentally this is going to be something that he's going to have to shake off, whereas MarineKing is going to feel pumped. You know, just being so behind and still going toe-to-toe with YoDa.
I feel, from seeing him in the booth, I think he's going to be fine. I feel the problem would have been if he would have lost that game. That would have probably devastated him. But now he's probably like, oh, that shouldn't have happened. But it's still fine. It's still fine. Nothing coming of it.
That's where it's important to have your coach with you, as he does here, to support him.
Hero was important here. You could see him go into the booth right away, talk to YoDa, and YoDa visibly calm down.
Yeah. Everything is going to be okay going into the series. We'll see what happens. MarineKing Scout is shut down. He does not know if there's gas or not. The only thing he knows is that it's not a command center first on the low ground. He doesn't know if it's on the high ground. Well, actually, that's true. He does know, because otherwise the Marine wouldn't be out. But he couldn't physically see anything, so he doesn't know that tech is what's on the way.
Yeah. And YoDa is going straight into the reactor here.
And he sees the position.
Yeah, exactly. He has the scouting information. Before the Marine is out, he gets all the information that he wants.
Yep, checks as well to see if there's double gas with the 2 racks, or if it's just a 2 racks follow-up. So he knows whether or not there's going to be a faster 3 CCs. And even if it's not fast 3 Cs, he knows the gas is delayed, so he's going to have no worries about Vikings, for example, when he gets there.
I'm really interested to see YoDa's approach right now. This is a huge map, and you know, with those cross positions, this game could drag on forever. We could actually see a much longer game than the last game, and that was already, I think, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
If those two players, we've seen crazy TVTs on this map, and if those two players really go at it in the late game, I feel we could see a pretty epic Terran versus Terran endgame.
We saw some crazy Terran versus Terrans just recently on this map.
Yeah.
In multiple tournaments, but in the GSL Code as well. And I gotta say, MarineKing going into this now is a little bit in the dark, and he has to play safely. He's going to take his gases a little bit later here, but he's been able to power up even a 3rd barrack, so he will have a Marine count that is nice and that he can use to defend pressure like that medevac harass.
For YoDa, this is a little bit of a revenge. MarineKing 2-0'd him the last time they met, and now YoDa, everything points to victory for him. But that was a very, very tense game, this first one, and if YoDa can do it again, we have to find that out now. The starport is nearly done, and currently we see for YoDa in the main base, he has his factory already ready. He can go into Hellions right now. Don't see any for him just yet, only a few Marines. Going into a 3rd command center here.
Yep. There is the Banshee switch. We're going to see Cloak from YoDa. He wants to put on some direct pressure against his opponent who's got leak detection.
MarineKing already has his engineering bay up.
Yeah, he's not taking as many risks as you normally see MarineKing take. And YoDa takes a fast 3rd CC with this. The way he's playing this build out is really interesting. You don't really see this build ever used quite like this. I feel the only reason why you do is because it's this map where you can easily get away with it.
We have seen this build that MarineKing uses a couple of times. What it really allows you to do is not only get the stim out early, but the +1 attack upgrade will be much faster for your army, so you will have an advantage when it comes down to biofights. You delay your factory though, and you also therefore delay the starport and your ability to drop.
Yeah.
So that can come back and bite you. But it all depends on how he defends against the Banshee.
On this map, I really like MarineKing's opening more because he's more flexible. YoDa's build is good against a normal type of TVT where you can't really move out with aggressive play. When an attack at third base, like the one he's just made here, which he will probably transform into an orbital. Legend tried to capture, but he didn't. But MarineKing with this Bioforce can actually force that command center to lift up if he sends it out and attacks with stem and +1 in his first few medevacs.
Also now the third base being built for MarineKing. He can take down the SCV, YoDa that is, and delay the expansion a bit more. The Banshee is now just moving in. We have a second one for YoDa about to finish. Vikings, no problem for YoDa just yet because of the delayed starport, but
he has turrets. Yeah. If he has a scan, this Banshee will not last long.
There we go. Sees the third base and immediately takes down the SCV.
Yep, stops the base, and there's no turret in the main. He starts it now. There's already a lot of SCVs killed, and he could micro back against the Marines. He needs to if he wants to survive. Stim is ready.
Yeah, 4 Marines. He's getting a few additional SCVs. Here comes immediately the scan, and bye-bye Banshee.
Yeah, bye-bye Banshee indeed. 2 Marines go out for MarineKing to get some scouting information. First of all, he wants the watchtower. They'll probably send one of these Marines afterwards to check the third base location. Takes control of the watchtower first. And 1 Marine goes to the third. Meanwhile, YoDa finds a sweet spot here on this depot. Just trying to do what he can to annoy MarineKing and force another scan.
Nice reaction time here. Sees the Marine stimming in and immediately the cloak and runs away. Not able to bait a scan here, and this supply depot is going to fall. Oh,
that was kind of a weird scan.
Did it?
I think he repaired it.
Yeah, he started repairing in the last second.
That command center just finished, by the way. That was a bit delayed. He's going to force repair here. This just costs more minerals. Even targets the SCV. The medevacs heal it, though. This is a crazy battle. We're watching. He picks up the SCV and the medevac to save it. Who's going to win? He wants that scan, but he knows that if he scans, the Banshee's going to escape. What a crazy little micro battle we have here. He forces a stim, but there's medevacs, and the Banshee gets away.
This is pretty awesome. This is
most annoying Banshee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MAB.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, does that stand for anything cool? And I was like, map. I was like,
It does now.
It does now. The command center for YoDa is not lifted yet, even though he's had it a little bit longer. Because he knows MarineKing, he saw with the Banshee, MarineKing has this massive Bioforce and he doesn't want to risk it. MarineKing, on the other hand, with that Bioforce, has control of the map and will land his command center a little bit faster.
The Banshee is still active on the map. We have still units at the bottom left, and he's moving in once again, trying to do a little bit of damage while MarineKing is now at the top.
This Banshee has no kills, but that doesn't mean it hasn't done any damage.
Yeah. Even there's the mining, delaying the mining at the third base is already important. So Banshees, 2 Banshees actually still active at the bottom left for YoDa. MarineKing is trying to make sure that there's no third base for his opponent, and that's something that he couldn't show already. He's a little bit ahead in the upgrades too, MarineKing that is. He completed his armory. YoDa is just now building his. Has double engineering bay, and his timings here work really, really well.
Banshee's just continuing to be annoying. Meanwhile, at the third, medevacs come in here because MarineKing wants to help heal those SCVs. He also probably just 1-8 his army, and that's what happens. But he's going to use these medevacs to keep the SCV alive.
He's dodging the Banshee shots with the SCVs thanks to the medevacs. This is actually really cute.
Yep. Keeps him here long enough to take out the Banshee. The other Banshee is still sitting pretty over at 9 o'clock.
But these trades are definitely worth it for YoDa. He's baiting scans, he's denying mining time, he's taking down SCVs. He's forcing micro for MarineKing, actions that he could use anywhere else on the map. So that's still worth it. And did he kill both Banshees? Is one still alive? I'm actually not quite sure.
The one on the left side is still alive.
Yeah, the one on the left side is still hovering there at the edge of the map.
He hasn't used it since that crazy fiasco with the supply depot.
He might have forgotten it.
He probably has. It's on the minimap.
Maybe the Banshee is still traumatized, needs therapy, was really unhappy after the supply depot did not burn down.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the Banshee hotkey on any of his hotkeys, so he probably just forgot about it since it's so barely visible on the minimap. But at this point, YoDa is going to take control of the watchtower. He has, for the first time, an army that he can move across the map and bully MarineKing with. And will he siege first? He does. This forces MarineKing to move further back. He could pick up a tank, and he barely does not.
Trying to, though. +2/+2 will, by the way, finish faster for MarineKing. He started the upgrades a bit earlier than YoDa. This is going to be really important later on, doubling the siege tank count of MarineKing, YoDa is.
Yeah. YoDa at this point just has the map dominance. He controls the watchtower. He wants to move into the third, but MarineKing has too much of a defense setup. The upgrades for both players are pretty even, but MarineKing has a slight lead in the infantry upgrades. The tank upgrade is very far ahead. He's going to have that one a lot faster.
Yeah. It's nearly completed.
It looks like he wants to try to utilize these upgrades in an engagement away from the siege tanks. YoDa sees this army move out though with his mansion. The mansion continues to be useful here. Both players scanning for positioning. MarineKing wants to get something with these upgrades, and he's going to go for the third. He outmaneuvers his opponent in the middle of the map.
And he has a lot more Vanivax. Just as a side note, he can really make up for all these stims that he's using now. He's stimming in again, only one siege tank. That's not enough to stop this force.
And he gets the position on the top here on the high ground with the siege tanks. YoDa's units are not firing. He has the disadvantage in upgrades over MarineKing.
And he's going to lose his expansion. Oh my god, with a mass repair, he's able to break through, but can he defeat this force?
It doesn't look like it, not with the upgrade advantage on MarineKing. Just goes to show how important that is when you have this many units. He drops the mule, he takes out YoDa's siege tanks.
It's
YoDa,
the perfect timing.
GG.
GG with +2/+2, he moves in. YoDa's upgrades are not done. MarineKing with a better position, the better upgrades, more Marines, takes the high ground, and YoDa is forced to attack or lose his third. Loses the game, and MarineKing ties the series. Belcher Vestige is going to be our third map.
Yep. YoDa cannot be happy with what has just transpired. You know, when you fight with 60 so Marines against 60 so Marines, when that upgrade is applied, that advantage is applied to over 60 units, the highest DPS density units that you can have in a Terran versus Terran. And that upgrade goes through, it makes a huge difference. Even though he wastes a lot of DPS initially fighting the command center, as soon as he turned on YoDa's Marines, it was like night and day of the upgrades. It was brutal to watch. YoDa loses his whole army, loses his ability to hold the third. Two completely different openings leading to the same path, but MarineKing's upgrade advantage makes all the difference in the world.
The timing window that he had was so small, but he used it perfectly. It was so great for him to hit at exactly that time. That was no coincidence. MarineKing going in the right time, running with the lead that he had, and now he's playing on Belcher Vestige. And I guess YoDa at this point is really nervous.
Yeah, I think so. MarineKing has definitely got the momentum on his side now going into the third game. Belcher Vestige is the map. And YoDa could face any type of build. It could be double barracks play, it could be command center first. He's really going to have to scout here. MarineKing is in his head, and YoDa's got to make sure he stays calm, make sure he keeps focused. That's what Hirai's here for. It's all up to YoDa now to turn things around. MarineKing takes game 2. Who's going to take game 3 at Belcher Vestige? Let's find out right now. GSL Code, mastered by Counter and Wolf.